money. You keep putting them away, and you tell us exactly what it'll take for you and Pacquiao to dance.
I mean, we've been talking about this for the longest. I mean, like I said before, we know Sugar Ray Leonard. We knew him. He was great from his Olympic days. We knew he was going to be a great professional. Michael Jordan, we knew from college he was going to be a great professional. Floyd Mayweather, from the beginning of his career, from the 90s, we knew he was going to be a great professional. Just look at all these different athletes. Kobe in high school, he was going to be a great athlete. Now you ask yourself, a fighter just don't get 25 all of a sudden just become great. A fighter just don't become 25 years old, just pop out of nowhere. You know what? I'm knocking junior middleweights out. I'm knocking middleweights out. That just don't happen. That just don't happen. I mean, it's like this. If you don't have nothing to hide, I just want to be on an even playing field. That's it, even playing field. If you don't got nothing to hide, take the test. But I know what it is. I forgot.
You're obviously not oblivious to the stuff that Bob Arum has said, what Pacquiao has said. During that recent press tour, they both said, we'll do unlimited lessons. We're a great athlete. I mean, what's the truth?
Talk to this people, man. This boy don't really want to fight, man. All Pacquiao doing is fighting my leftovers, man. All Pacquiao doing is fighting my leftovers. I beat Ricky Hatton when he was undefeated. After I already beat Ricky Hatton, then he go fight him. I beat De La Hoya at the weight De La Hoya chose. He chose the gloves. He chose the weight class. He beat De La Hoya when De La Hoya haven't made a weight in 12 years. They say Shane Mosley, his best performance was when he fought Antonio Margarito. I'll beat him, they say he's over the hill. But then, after knocking Antonio Margarito out, a guy that was cheating with Bob Arum, who should have been banned from the sport for good. But you know how this is. You know how it is. Okay, I don't take that away from Marquez. Pacquiao fight Marquez, and we know he got his ass kicked twice. We know this. Okay, I took 2 years off. I came back and fought him. They said, you know what? Marquez and Pacquiao, they said you're too big for Pacquiao. And they said you're too big for Marquez, but you're not too big for Pacquiao, but they the same size. I just don't understand, man.
Do you not believe him when he's saying that? Do you think he's not telling you the truth when he said
The fight would have been happening. They lied about talking. They talking about, well, we offered Mayweather a certain amount of money. How can you offer me anything? And I do the offering. Pacquiao has a boss. Once again, before he worry about fighting Floyd Mayweather, he has to get his business in order. You know, we talking about a guy that gives up when he fight, he gives up 30% of his check to 2 different companies. I keep 100% of the revenue. So, I mean, I don't need Pacquiao. With or without Pacquiao, every time Floyd Mayweather goes out there, he's going to make over $70 million, period. I don't need him. I mean, what was Pacquiao at 90? What was he at 96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001? When I was dominating the game, what was he at then? Now, all of a sudden, I'm 34 years old, and he's like, oh, this guy want to fight. He never asked me when I was in my 20s or when I was in my teens. Now, all of a sudden, it's no different from this. Now, Floyd Mayweather, like I tell you reporters, the same shit over and over and over and over again. Right now, if I was to go to heavyweight and compete with the Klitschko's, y'all gonna say, you know what? Floyd Mayweather is on something. But y'all saying a man can come from 105 all the way to 154 and say, you know what? It's all natural. Come on, man. Wake up. Pacquiao is famous because he's connected to my name. When they mention Pacquiao, they say, who is that? They say, that's the guy that we trying to get to fight Floyd Mayweather. When they say Floyd Mayweather, they say, that's an all-time great.
Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao says he don't believe in drug testing. It's against his religion.
got it all. Does he beat Pacquiao again? Easy. Pacquiao's finished. He's in it for the few quid now, few pounds more, few more dollars. Great fighter, legend himself. But he can never look in the mirror and say he was the best of his era because he already lost to Floyd Mayweather, who is the best of his era. Mayweather is, of his time, is unbeatable. No one's going to beat him.
Okay. You're right.
Antonio Margarito wanted to fight me extremely bad. And then come to find out, ladies and gentlemen, this guy was cheating. He was fighting with a cast inside his glove. When they caught him cheating in the locker room, he got knocked out by Shane Mosley that same night. And then Shane Mosley next fight, I beat him. Antonio
So it was just reported earlier today by FightNews.com that Manny Pacquiao is requesting that whoever fails a drug test in this highly anticipated fight between Mayweather and Pacquiao, of course, they'll have to pay a $5 million fine. Now, this is the first thing I want to say about this whole situation. First things first, it's great that Manny Pacquiao, at least what it seems, is going out of his way to prove that he's clean. But what's so funny about this whole situation is, like I always tell you guys in all my videos, the truth will always break free and come to light eventually. Okay? What do I mean by that? We already know 6 years ago when Floyd Mayweather was requesting that Manny Pacquiao just take a test. And keep in mind, Floyd Mayweather didn't say there's going to be, a penalty if you fail. All Floyd Mayweather said was, we are both going to be tested. I want Olympic-style random drug testing. And what did these emotionally attached decaf fans say when Floyd Mayweather requested this? They said, you're not the commission. You can't come over here just making up the rules. You're not the sport of boxing. Manny Pacquiao, he said he's afraid of needles. All of the Manny Pacquiao fans, they were saying that Manny Pacquiao is superstitious. He doesn't believe in, taking blood, having blood taken, before a fight and so on and so forth. Right? Boy, you guys would have to admit, even the Manny Pacquiao fans would have to admit, isn't that a hell of a 180? I mean, that's like Floyd Mayweather coming out and saying, I no longer believe in Olympic-style testing. Matter of fact, I'm never going to be tested or even ask my opponents to be tested again. I don't even want to be tested anymore. I mean, that's pretty much equivalent to Floyd Mayweather saying that. Wouldn't you guys agree? And let me just make this clear before I go any further. When I expose these profound contradictions, this is not some attack on Manny Pacquiao. Quite frankly, this is really to expose all of the ridiculous, ignorant excuses that Manny Pacquiao's ignorant-ass fans made up when Floyd Mayweather was asking for the same thing that Manny Pacquiao is reportedly asking for now. Right? Once again, when Floyd Mayweather was asking for this, what did we hear? This man is not the sport. This and this and this and that. He thinks he's the king. He thinks he's boxing and so on and so forth. Now Manny Pacquiao, 5 years, 6 years later, he's asking for drug testing. Where is Dan Raphael when you need him? Right? Because I vividly remember Dan Raphael on ESPN talking to Brian Kenny, telling him Floyd Mayweather is not the sport of boxing to be asking for testing and so on and so forth. I mean, forget about the fact that boxers have been creating their own personal stipulations in negotiations since boxing's inception. I mean, if you don't believe me, go all the way back to 1908 when Jack Johnson fought against the champion Tommy Burns. Do you know what type of terms Jack Johnson had to agree to get this man in the ring, Tommy Burns? Jack Johnson had to agree to paying out a percentage of all of his future earnings to Tommy Burns after they faced each other, right? So let's just say Tommy Burns, he created a nice little insurance policy just in case he got his ass whooped, which he did. Okay? So the point is, don't believe this BS when you hear Dan Raphael and other ignorant ass fans trying to say, oh, Floyd Mayweather, he created personal, stipulations or demands. Even Manny Pacquiao had demands when they first negotiated, just like Manny Pacquiao has demands today. And once again, I want you guys to understand something. I commend Manny Pacquiao for making it very clear, if this is true, which I believe it is true, it's been reported by all the major websites. But if Manny Pacquiao is saying, look, I want to prove to the world that I'm not doping, and so on and so forth, I commend him for that. But I condemn the dumb casual ass fans, otherwise known as the decavs, that made Manny Pacquiao look bad with ridiculous buffoonery that always comes back to bite you in the ass. Make up all these excuses for Manny Pacquiao, talking all this stuff about Floyd Mayweather, then Manny Pacquiao turns around, he does the exact same thing. Once again, man, you guys are trying to help this cat, and all you're doing is hurting him. In many ways, life is like the sport of boxing. You go out throwing a whole bunch of fucking punches and fighting with your heart and your pride and not using your brain. A lot of times you leave yourself wide open for counters. And you can fuck around and get knocked out.
Why would you walk away from $30 million on the table just not to take some blood, just not to take a test? If you're clean, what do you have to hide? Now, why would you not make that fight if you're clean? Now, doctors have stated that taking blood for a test does not weaken you. It does not now, but hey, why would you walk away from $30 million on the table just not to take some blood, just not to take a test? If you're clean, what do you have to hide? Now, why would you not make that fight if you're clean? Now, doctors have stated that taking blood for a test does not weaken you. It does not now, but hey, Pacquiao had some tattoos on him, I think I saw, so you can't say he's afraid of needles. They said that people in the Pacquiao camp sent a couple of emails to the Mayweather camp a few weeks ago. First email was, what would the penalty be if our guy tested positive? The second email was, if he did test positive, could we keep this a secret for the benefit of boxing? And I also know that Tim Smith, the columnist from the Daily News, reported on the same thing I just said. But you just wonder why those questions were being asked. All right, but why would you...
Pacquiao's an amazing fighter. He's an amazing fighter. But all I gotta say, if you don't got nothing to hide, then take the test.
Here today, we'll be bringing him in. I'm here to support my boxer who's going to fight tomorrow, Sakura.
There's no blueprint on how to beat Floyd Mayweather, and he can tell you that himself. When we talk about Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer, but nobody has the rundown on how to beat Floyd Mayweather. Don't let them trick you into getting your ass whooped again.
He's older than me. I'm still young, so what I have done and accomplished in boxing, I think it's one of a kind, because 8 different weight division is not that. I'm not trying to boast what I have accomplished in life. Best fighter in the world has a community.
I'm here to talk about your personal life. We talk about what's going on inside that square circle. I'm the best. No matter how you rate it, no matter how you cut it, you go to 100 years back, 300 years back, all the way to now. There's only one best, and that's Floyd Mayweather.
Every hand you're dealt in life, you take that hand and you play it. Just like in spades, you just take the hand that you dealt, play it, and be the best that you can be.
What was that pivot moment that said, I can do this shit? Like, I am the show.
I didn't understand, because when I signed my deal, I was only a teenager. When a teenager getting that type of money,
You're a kid. You don't know no better. And once I say I'm no longer going to be just an athlete, I'm going to be a businessman. See, a lot of the fighters right now in boxing, they're just fighters.
Right.
I'm a businessman. So right now, I'm retired. But you got guys like Warren Buffett that can still make a ton of money, the Waltons that own Walmart. But soon as someone black, your own people, say, oh, he's broke, I'm not here to talk about no one else's pockets. I got to where I got to, focusing on Floyd Mayweather. That's how I got to becoming 50-0.
I understand that, but Floyd wants Manny to take an Olympic-type blood testing to make sure that he's not on performance-enhancing drugs. Get right to the point that he's not on steroids. Floyd believes that there's a chance of Manny going up. You know, we talk about all these weight classes, 8 different weight classes. Well, Floyd's talking about those weight classes, but he's not applauding the way we are. He's saying, how did he get up in all these weight classes? Never lost his speed, increased his speed in some ways, never lost his strength, and his body looks like it grew into that weight when he started as a small man. So Floyd wants him to take a test that he's willing to take too. Of course, Manny has already said, I won't take the test. Now, he was offered $30 million. Some people might scratch their head just a little bit and say, you won't give up a test tube of blood for $30 million? Again, that doesn't mean he's guilty. Maybe he just doesn't want to be tested. Maybe he has pride. Maybe he says, you shouldn't be suspicious of me. I've never given you reason really to be suspicious of me. But whatever the reason is, that has to change to answer your question. He being, of course, Manny Pacquiao, has to submit to Olympic-type blood testing, and then Floyd, according to what he said, he will then get in the ring with him.
Well, Teddy, like you said, 30 million, 40 million, it could be 50 million after tonight's fight. I mean, if you're training Floyd Mayweather, that's a lot of money, and plus your cut is a lot of money. And I know you care about your fighter, but would you advise Floyd to go ahead and say, look, you know what, get in the ring with this guy. You know what he got. You can beat this guy, or would you also demand that type of testing?
You know, if Floyd really believes, you know, there's one thing when you take steroids and you hit a baseball and you get more home runs, it goes a little bit further over the fence. Okay, but now and it's an if, you're taking steroids and your body is getting the improvement of that, the benefit of that, and you're hitting somebody in the head, that's a big difference. That's something to be worried and concerned about, especially with somebody with the talent of Manny Pacquiao. So Floyd, you can't knock him. If he really believes that he has that advantage, that he's taking steroids to put his health on the line when he's not taking something, and to give that advantage to someone else. But if you want to look at it another way, maybe Money Mayweather, that is his name, by the way.
Yeah, that's it.
Money Mayweather, yeah, it is. Maybe he's a great manager. Maybe he's smarter than all of us. Maybe he's doing this to wait for this fight to be bigger and bigger. It's just got bigger.
Yeah.
And by him being away, right?
Yeah.
Now he jumps on that horse and he comes out. And who comes out to slay the dragon? Who comes out to save the day? Some people won't think he's saving the day. But who comes out now to upset the apple cart? Nobody other than Money Floyd Mayweather.
It's the only thing we want to see in boxing right now, and we'll see if it actually happens. Teddy Atlas, thanks for your perspective, man, your insight and your knowledge, of course, as always.
My pleasure.
What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate reverse rants, no hate. Now, what you just saw, okay, I did this little compilation because I wanted to just let y'all hear. Let's take this trip back down memory lane to hear the conversations and the things that was going on. You have these casuals that don't know nothing about what happened. This is what they do. They go by hearsay, and they might see certain little clips and then think that they know the whole story. I did a short video of Roy Jones making the claim that Floyd Mayweather can't take credit for beating Manny Pacquiao because Manny Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. He wasn't the same after that. Back in the day, we know like, you can't do that. But like nowadays, they say it's pretty the greatest of all time and this and this and this. But back in the day, okay, now, see, here's the hypocrisy. Okay, and anybody that been following this channel know Roy was somebody I always rock with Roy. I just have no emotional attachment and don't have any problems with telling the truth. See, the people that do always have dumbass comments and questions and because they just don't know shit. And no matter what you say, you can sit here and I can sit here and tell you that, hey man, I have a glass right there, it's full of cold water. Hey, again, I have a glass right there, it's full of cold water. 3 times, I have a glass right there, it's full of cold water. Aries, what's in that glass? That's the type of shit that comes on your channel, right? So let me address this way. And again, this is the logic and reason. I don't give a fuck who it is. It just happens that look, the hate he's showing just happens to be directed at Floyd. If it was somebody else, I'd be saying the same shit. Now, let me debunk everything that Roy said to show you where the hypocrisy comes in as well. He said that Floyd Mayweather cannot take credit for beating Manny Pacquiao because Pacquiao was knocked out by Marquez. So in this short clip, I said, well, if we're going to go by that logic, Roy, that means Marvin Hagler can't take any credit for knocking out Thomas Hearns because Thomas Hearns was once brutally knocked out by Sugar Ray Leonard. Okay? Muhammad Ali can take no credit for beating Joe Frazier because before that, he was brutally knocked out by George Foreman. Ali can take no credit for beating Ken Norton because he was once before that brutally knocked out by George Foreman as well. You know, Ken Norton got knocked out by Foreman. Frazier got knocked out by Foreman. So that's the reason Ali beat them. Okay? Hearns was knocked out by Ray Leonard. That's the reason Hagler beat him. Roy Jones himself can't take any credit for beating John Ruiz because John Ruiz was brutally knocked out by David Tua. Now, we can sit here and go on and on. Now, question is, why is it he doesn't make these same claims for any other fighter other than Floyd? Show footage. Why does he never say this about any other fighter? That applies to any fighter. Okay, let me show you some more hypocrisy. And look, like I said, we always rock with Roy. But I'm going to tell the truth. I don't give a fuck who it is. Roy Jones said that this dude was knocked out. And so that's the reason why Floyd can't take credit for it. Because this wasn't the same Pacquiao. He wasn't the same after that. So what was Floyd supposed to do? Go get knocked out? Let me let somebody knock me out so then we can be in the same situation? It ain't Pacquiao's problem. I mean, Floyd's problem. That's Pacquiao's problem. Now, let's use this same logic. And I'm going to show you how we're going to flip it on Roy. With just his own words and his own logic. He said at one point before the Spence Crawford fight, right? He said there's no way that Errol Spence can be the same. The reason is because Errol Spence was thrown out of a car going 90 miles per hour, or however fast it was, right? There's no way his body's the same. He said that Errol Spence was able to beat other fighters, but Terrence Crawford is different. He ain't gonna be able to beat him, man. Ain't no way. You can't be the same. Okay, so why is it that after Terrence Crawford beat Errol Spence, you praised him? Why didn't you say, yeah, Terrence Crawford won, but he can't really take credit for that? Because why? There's no way Errol Spence was the same after being thrown from that car. Now, why does that work for Floyd, but not for Errol Spence? Why? And here's the difference. Manny Pacquiao was just knocked out. He came back after that and fought Brandon Rios. And you know what everybody said? Manny Pacquiao is back. That's what they said. He was just knocked out. Errol Spence was thrown from a car, right? But you didn't say Terrence Crawford can't really take credit for that because he fought a guy that's not the same. Now let me show you how else you flip this on Roy with his own logic. You fought Vinny Pazienza, who came from lightweight. This dude came from 130, 135 all the way up and fought you at 168 pounds. You said in that clip, you know, Vinny Pazienza had heard he had a neck injury. When you say it like that, it's like saying somebody has a headache. a slight headache and a migraine they feel completely different. You can handle a slight headache. Anybody's ever had a migraine, you know it's the difference. Fracturing your arm is way different when you break it, especially in different places. So let's say it like it happened. He didn't have just a neck injury. Vinny Pazienza suffered a broken neck in 1991, fought you in 95, right? So yeah, he came back, but was he the same fighter? What you didn't say is, I can't take credit for beating Vinny Pazienza because there's no way he was the same fighter after suffering a broken neck and a fatal car crash like that. Doctors told him he'd never fight again, that definitely his boxing career was definitely over. There's no way that his neck would heal properly for him to fight. You didn't say that. You didn't take credit from yourself and say you can't take credit for beating Vinny Pazienza. The most that Roy said about that fight, like you heard in that clip, he's saying how he's basically saying he took it light on him. He didn't want to hurt him. You know, he also said at the an interview or something like that before the fight that he couldn't really get up for the Pazienza fight and all that. Okay, he said that about a lot of people. He can't get up for that person. Okay, but what he ended up saying was what? He took it to help Derek Smoke Gainer. Okay, when Roy has had a bad showing, it was something that he was doing for a friend. One, the Pazienza fight. What did he say? He wanted Derek Gainer to be champion so bad, so he took the fight, so then he put Derek Smoke Gainer on the card, and this happened and all, right? So he did it for a friend. That doesn't change the fact that you still did it. Why you did it, okay, yeah, great. You may be telling 1,000% the truth as to why you did it. The point is you still did it. But you didn't take credit from that victory. Okay? When he fought Mike McCallum, it was a lackluster performance. And people was like, man, what you doing? Roy kind of like, we expect you to come in and blow this dude out. What did he say? Him and Mike McCallum were good friends. And he took the fight to help Mike McCallum make some money. And what did he say? He took it light on Mike McCallum. I think Mike McCallum was like 39 years old when they fought. He's 38 or 39. Definitely. One of the two. I think he was 39. But regardless, here you was doing a favor for a friend. Right? According to Roy, right? Let's say he's telling us 1,000% truth. You still took the fight. And what happened, happened. And he even said he was holding back. And then one of the rounds, Mike tried to turn up. So he had to turn up a little bit to, hey, man, like calm him down because, okay, you still took the fight. Then, when Floyd fought Zab Judah, oh, man, Zab was coming off of a loss and blah, blah, blah. Let Zab tell it, man. It was Don King's fault, this, that. He didn't have the right training camp. Okay, whatever. But Floyd fought Baltimore as well. So, did it really matter? No. But, point is, Floyd was looking out for Zab. He was looking out for Zab. Roy Jones, out his own mouth, said he liked to see Floyd and Zab fight. Any fighter that gets knocked out, well, the next person he fight, they can't get credit for it. So what Roy Jones is basically saying about himself is, I was never the same after I got knocked out by Tarver in that second fight. So Glenn Johnson can't take credit for that either, right? For beating you because Tarver did it. Every fighter's career is not over because they get knocked out. What you say, you lose, you come back and you learn what you did wrong and you come back and you fight again. I'm telling y'all, to hear a person say one thing and then change their opinions. See, y'all don't remember the conversations. That's why I did what I did. I'll give you an example of something, right? He just sat here and said in that video that Floyd can't take credit for beating Pacquiao, right? Because Pacquiao got knocked out by Marquez. He wasn't the same fighter. Do y'all remember? I don't remember if it was after a fight or if it was some type of convention or whatever, but I just remember Roy Jones being asked one time, had a black suit on, a black blazer on or whatever, and I remember him being asked, what do you think about Max Kellerman's comments? Max Kellerman said that Manny Pacquiao is better than Floyd Mayweather. He's greater than Floyd Mayweather. And Roy Jones said, that's stupid. How you gonna be greater than somebody that beat you? That don't make no sense at all. You go from saying that to saying he can't take credit for beating Manny Pacquiao because Pacquiao wasn't the same due to Marquez. So what changed? I personally feel like Roy Jones looks at Floyd's career, and that's how he envisioned himself initially. Because the only blemish he had on his record up until the Tarver fight was that Montel Griffin situation where he hit him when he was down, and Montel Griffin pretty much won the fight on his back. And Roy Jones felt like he was faking. He wasn't really knocked out. He did that because he didn't want to fight. He avenged the loss in the rematch. Okay. After that one loss, he can't say that you know, I'm going to be undefeated, because you already lost one at this point. When you look at Roy's career, everybody's going to always know what happened with him in Tarver, what happened with him and Glenn Johnson, and all the other knockouts that happened afterwards. They're going to always know that. So along with the good and the bad, his bad is real bad. Floyd's not going to have that. Floyd's just going to have haters trying to make excuses as to what and why and all that, but you're not going to see Floyd on his back. You're not going to see any of that. More contradictions is him getting mad saying, how Floyd going to be considered the greatest because he's 50 and 0. 50 and 0, okay, you 50 and 0, that don't make you the greatest fighter of all time. Then, first of all, you come back, you fight a guy that's not even a boxer. So how that's even going to count? Contradiction. Roy Jones said, I don't do exhibitions, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it ain't the real thing, you know what I'm saying? Well, I ain't wasting my time. What I'm doing it for? You know what I'm saying? I do the real thing or nothing at all. Okay. You wanted to fight Anderson Silva, who was not a boxer, but an MMA guy that had some past experience way back when. Just like Conor said, he had like 15 fights, right? So basically, you wanted to fight a guy that's an MMA guy, not a boxer. But you don't do exhibitions, which means, okay, you was trying to do the same thing Floyd did. The difference was this. Floyd was the face of boxing, so to speak. Conor was the face of MMA, of UFC, so to speak. And basically, their fight was mega. 300 million for Floyd, 100 million or whatever for 100 million or 120 million, whatever it was for, 100 million for Conor. You and Anderson Silva wouldn't get close to that. And it never happened. So I feel like watching Roy, and understand, these are fighters that I've been watching since forever. Okay, so yeah, and I feel like he envisioned his career being what Floyd's was. You look at his career and you ask anybody who's greater, Roy Jones, bring up Marvin Hagler, bring up Hearn, bring up Leonard, bring up all of them. Roy Jones more than likely won't get the nod in terms of career. Why? Because the lack of big name opponents. So if you looked at his opponents and compared them to Floyd's, all this Floyd waited till guys was too old. Floyd fought guys and they was too, all this shit. That's why it's so funny, the camouflage in saying he fought guys and he was too young. How the fuck a 36-year-old man is fighting a 23-year-old? Oh, he's too young. No excuses, right? That's why when you hear me say, so Devin Haney can do what he did. You know, Wilfredo Benitez can do what he did. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson. But when it come to Canelo, it was all of a sudden he was too young. Okay, when y'all say, yeah, but Floyd, you know, you got to understand, Roy was 36. Yeah, when he got iced by Tarver, he was 30-fucking-6. So was Floyd 36 when he fought against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. So here's the difference. Tarver and Roy are the same fucking age. The same fucking age. And you know the crazy thing about that is, every time I hear people say he waited for guys to get too old to get to, but then y'all overlook the fact that these dudes didn't want to fight no damn Floyd Mayweather until he became the cash cow. So every time a person says, the video I put up where I'm exposing the shit between him and Shane saying he didn't duck him, yeah, cowards don't like to watch the truth. But that's the reality. Then I got idiots coming in here talking this shit about Floyd was the franchise champion and all this dumb shit. And it's like, y'all some lying, stupid motherfuckers. Where you come up with these lies and these stories? This is why I do what I do. Because falsehood, it's destroying boxing right now as it is. You look at what's going on and you tell me, why is it that a fighter says one thing today, changes his mind years later? But they don't keep the same energy with themselves. You fought a man that was a fucking lightweight, had a broken neck, and came and fought you at 168 pounds. And not once did you say, I can't take credit for that win. Now, in case y'all don't know, when he fought again, I forgot who he fought, but I remember Thomas Hearns he called out Roy Jones, and he was like late 30s or whatever it was, however old he was. You know what Roy Jones' response was? He said, at this point, I mean, I got him to prove by fighting Thomas Hearns at this point in his career. He was right. Same thing when he was talking about going to heavyweight. And then Evander Holyfield name came up, and Holyfield was saying he wanted to fight Roy. He said the same thing about Holyfield. Okay, so I guess he didn't have any friends there at that time, so he declined those fights. But he fought Vinny Pazienza to help Derek Smoke gain. That's what he said, right? Okay. If you basically feel like these are fights that you didn't need to have, how do you think people feel when they say, but Roy never fought Joe Calzaghe when they were younger in their primes? He never fought Nigel Benn. He didn't fight Mikuszewski, right? He didn't fight Chris Eubanks. I don't know why those fights didn't happen. The only one that he gave clarity on was about the Mikuszewski fight, and I understood that and I agree with him. You the champ. What the fuck? They trying to make demands for you to go to his country and fight for it. And according to Roy, yo, bottom line, I got robbed in the Olympics. This same shit can happen if I don't knock this dude out. They might do the same shit to me. I got it. I understood that. Point what I'm saying though is he's taking shots at a fighter when you got your own fucking demons. So if somebody, and my thing is, it shouldn't take somebody to be a hater of you to point out the truth. Well, I'm pointing out facts, man. I ain't sitting here talking no fucking opinions. Y'all heard the shit that was going on. Look, y'all love Tyson Fury, right? Tyson Fury could do no wrong. Y'all heard what Tyson Fury had to say about Pacquiao? Now you tell me if you put shoes on the other foot too. Pacquiao offers Floyd $30 million, and you tell me Floyd gonna say he don't want to take the fight because he's scared of needles. Yet the motherfucker got tattoos and shit. He don't want to fight because of this and that. And his fanboys is making excuses for him. My whole thing through that whole situation was, I don't care nothing about whether you like Floyd, whether you like Pacquiao. I look at the reality of what was going on. The only reason Pacquiao started talking that he'll take the fight, let's do the blood test, and if the person, whoever, gets caught, got to pay, $5 million or whatever it was, right? Listen, do y'all know why he started doing that? Because he got knocked the fuck out by Marquez. And he wanted to make sure that fight didn't slip away because he knew. You think he got $30 fucking million fighting against Brandon Rios or anybody else before that? No, and he ended up making $100 million to Floyd's $200 million, right? And plus whatever extra. What did you hear Roy Jones say? He said he can't take credit for that. But then he said, but then when you look at how much money he made, so okay, wait. So what you saying is legacy bet can be compromised for money. Well, newsflash, right? That's how fighters make their money, by fighting. They're prize fighters. You think that they fight just to hold a hunk of metal across their shoulder around their waist? That's a stupid fighter. So when Floyd says, I want to be more than just a boxer, I want to be a businessman. Well, is it ironic that people walk around here saying Floyd is broke? Right? Floyd don't have no money. That's why he keep fighting Oscar De La Hoya, 50 Cent, all these people. Why did Roy Jones just fight several months ago? You know what Roy said? He's not fighting his opponent. He's fighting the IRS. Which means financially, Roy ain't too good in shape. He's not in too good a shape, huh? So Floyd is doing what he's doing because he still can, not because he's broke. So every time somebody say that, and it's like, it's amazing for somebody to be so broke, but still got this big ass mansion and own properties and gentleman clubs and all this kind of shit. So my whole thing is, where they get this shit from, I don't know, and I really don't care. But the truth of the matter is, when you say shit and it's contradicting, and you can pull up footage and listen to what people are saying, only somebody who don't want to see the truth won't see it. Because the whole point of what I'm saying is, he's coming from a whole different space in this day and time now. I swear he reminded me of his father, sitting there looking at him all fat, that little receding hairline. I'm like, damn, he looked like his pops now. And he's talking like his father. I'm talking like in the way of, he seems like a jealous person right now. He don't say this shit about no other fighter. But here's something to think about. No matter how great he say that another fighter is, and he try to find a reason to try to bury Floyd, he give him half-ass credit, right? Ask Floyd Mayweather, ask Roy Jones, pound for pound, Roy Jones versus Pacquiao, who wins? He would feel insulted, like, man, no. He's not going to say certain things out loud because he don't want to be seen a certain way. And that's my point. You really think I remember he said Sugar Ray Robinson would have been too small for him. Okay, so if you think you can beat Sugar Ray, you damn sure think you can beat, you should know you can beat Pacquiao. You think he don't think he would have beat Ray Leonard or Thomas Hearns or Marvin Head? You think Roy think those guys was better than him? Shit, he probably think he can beat Ali, right? So what people say, well, he's supposed to. So why is it that Floyd is not supposed to think like that? Why is Floyd supposed to feel like, oh, I can't say this or that? This is exactly the point what I'm saying. You have no problem bashing Floyd, but you always try to find a way to praise other people. I don't personally give a fuck how you feel about Floyd, but it's Floyd is the one that he targets. So when I hear this kind of shit, it's just like, yo, listen at this shit. And all the idiots that start making comments. Oh, he's right. Champ is right. Floyd been ducking Pacquiao since this and that, and they don't even know the particulars. And that's why I'm like, these are a bunch of puppies. Y'all not even men. Y'all little boys with that shit. Making up lies. There was no such thing as no fucking franchise championship when Floyd was boxing. Stop that shit. Floyd ain't never had no franchise championship. And this is what we saying. When the sanctioning bodies, when the powers that be want a certain fight to happen, they can make it happen. They don't need no fucking invisible belt to make it happen. Since when did that happen? This is what I'm talking about. So I guess Ali and Frazier fought because one of them had a franchise belt. So all this shit that people, which is why when you hear me explain things, and I got to say it more than once, because honestly, it's a bunch of unintelligent, ignorant people that come on here and just say shit just to say it. So yeah, I'm talking about a dude like, and with Roy and Mayweather, it ain't about, I don't, if you ask me who I like better as a fighter, I don't know. You understand? I don't think about, I don't, whatever. It is what it is. It bothers Roy when people say Roy doesn't have the fundamentals that Floyd has. Roy was athleticism, speed, reflexes, instinct. Floyd had everything, and he didn't depend on just one part of his game to win. That shit eats Roy Jones up. Roy Jones feels like this. You can't say Wayne Gretzky, Michael Jordan, Muhammad Ali, Bruce Lee, Mike Tyson, and not say Roy Jones. That's how he feels. No, because Mayweather's being talked about even through hate. And he didn't do the things he wanted to do. He accomplished a lot of things, but you think when he tried to come back down and win the light heavyweight title and all this other shit that went on, and do you think that when he did that he expected to lose or he planned on losing? Of course not. Who the fuck plans on losing? Who says I'm tired of winning, I got to lose for a change? No. The point is, people, all right, when you come from a space of hate and you start contradicting yourself, y'all hear the fucking comments. Y'all hear the shit people say. So all that shit about Floyd duck, man, how you duck somebody and you offer them $30 million? Then all of a sudden they turn around. You want to turn around and play this whole, I don't believe in that, or I don't want to take the test. He made it clear, no, I'm not taking the test. So if you got in the hot, take the fucking test. Same thing. Let shoe be on the other foot. Y'all be saying the same thing. While Floyd, if he got in the hot, take the test. He's scared. And when Floyd was talking, Pacquiao was talking about they agreed to everything and they taking their time. It's like, fuck you. We've been fucking offering you and trying to make this fight happen on and off for like years now. Now you get knocked the fuck out. Now you desperate. Now all of a sudden I'm supposed to like just, push everything aside for Pat. Nah, motherfucker, you gonna learn. Simple. When he fought, he got his ass whooped, but he was scared of Pacquiao. Somebody said the difference between Ali and Mayweather, Ali wasn't scared of. How the fuck you know what was going through Ali's heart and mind? How the fuck you know what was going through Floyd's heart and mind? But at the same time, he beat him. He was so scared of him that he beat him. So even when you hear him in that clip, when he tells Pacquiao, I want y'all to notice, they was right next to each other. Okay? And they kept bringing up, Pacquiao had his fighter that was supposed to be fighting. And, Floyd's on the card. And they keep bringing up a rematch between Floyd and Pacquiao. Floyd says to Pacquiao's face, don't let these people make you get your ass whooped again. He was sitting right next to him. Do you understand me? You know what people were saying that initially happened? Oh man, Floyd's always disrespecting Pacquiao. Wait. So when Pacquiao was saying Floyd's afraid of him, he don't want to fight again, that's not disrespecting Floyd? See, it's always you can do it, but the other person can't retaliate. Listen, and then he even made the joke saying how he's Floyd's older than me, I'm still a young man. And yeah, I know, but Floyd waited for him to get old too, even though he was offering him and the dude didn't want to take the fight. These are just the facts. This ain't no fucking opinion. These are the facts. He clearly said no. And Floyd is the type of person, he had a lot of people that hate him. They had whatever. I don't know these people to say I hate them, okay? But at the end of the day, they couldn't deny the facts. They could not deny the facts. So it's funny how everybody know everything about boxing. Everybody's a boxing expert. But as soon as they say something and they have to be honest about where Floyd stands, all of a sudden, then they don't know what they're talking about. It doesn't matter, people. Here's the reality. Floyd Mayweather, Roy Jones Jr., two different people. Two different eras. But reality is, whenever you have something to say about a person, and every time you speak about them, you always have to go into they not the greatest of all time. How you gonna be the greatest when you didn't do this, you didn't do that? But when the comparison was with other fighters, you praised them. It's just, okay, I'll say he's great, but I don't want y'all to think he's greater than me. Why do you keep putting yourself in the equation, right? When you look at your career, people will always say Roy Jones lacks when it comes to the all-time greats. The Hearns, the Hadleys, like I said, and all that, the Raylands, because his lack of competition. So if Roy Jones fought John Ruiz and then retired, it would be seen as different. You understand what I'm saying? It would have been seen as different. Like, yo, who does that? Yo, this dude can't, right? Just like Canelo. If he didn't go up and fight Bivol, it's like, damn, people was calling Canelo God. Literally, yo, he's God. Yo, Canelo's this and this. Okay, cool. Cool. Well, understand what I'm saying, y'all. If I tell you today you suck at something, I only change my view of you when I see you doing better. But if I say you suck at something without you doing anything different, my view don't change. Why? Because for me to say that, that means I know enough about what your situation is to say that you suck. Otherwise, that means I'm just running my mouth. Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.